A truly stunning admission was made by the New York Times. Their headline, not ours, tough immigration policies work. Quote, Biden officials credit new border measures for decline in illegal crossings. Crossings by migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti have plummeted. But Republicans and some Democrats have attacked the new policies. In reality, the Biden administration changes mirror some of the Trump-era policies that Democrats hated. And to be fair, Democrats hate many of Mr. Biden's changes, namely turning back asylum seekers to Mexico. Here's New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez.
The Biden administration cannot have it both ways. They cannot acknowledge that seeking asylum is a legal right. They cannot indicate that they then want to expand legal pathways and secure our border, only to expand this disastrous Trump-era relic that only benefits human smugglers.
Max Burns is here, former Democratic Hill staffer, founder of Third Degree Strategy. Max, I'm a little confused here. Do Democrats want a secure southern border or not?
What Democrats want should be a pretty straightforward thing for Joe Biden, and that is to follow the immigration laws that are on the books right now, mainly the Refugee Act of 1980. The challenge is that in reducing illegal crossing, Joe Biden is also illegally making it more challenging and in some cases restricting the ability of people to legally exercise the right to seek asylum. And that is something that Democrats opposed under Donald Trump, and we oppose it now under Joe Biden.
You say we oppose it, and this was something that the very same policies that then candidate Biden called inhumane and terrible and wrong and on and on and on. How much of this is just a political calculation on his part and the White House's part? We're running for re-election. We have to run for the center. We're going to have a 40% approval rating, below freezing approval ratings when it comes to immigration and border policy. We have to do something.
If it's a political calculation, it's a poor one. I mean, the majority of Americans
what else could
support
it be?
The idea that people should be able to seek asylum. And the core here is this idea of remaining in Mexico. If Joe Biden wants that to be the case, he needs to go to Congress and have them add that to the law. He's not empowered to make those changes himself. And that's what's outraging so many Democrats and what risks hurting him among his base.
Nevertheless, we can all agree what is happening on the southern border is both insane, unsustainable, a real threat to national security, given how many people are coming across with big criminal backgrounds and are on the terror watch list, the amount of fentanyl and other drugs that are coming across. It's unsustainable. If he can't get Democrats in Congress to come along, which so far he's been unable to do, to agree on how to secure the southern border, what else can he do politically or, for that matter, to protect the country?
Well, I think until Joe Biden actually addresses this issue of asylum, which is what is driving so many Democrats into a fury here, he's not going to have the political capital to have this conversation. I'm one of the Democrats who believes that there is an opportunity in Congress right now to do bipartisan immigration reform that strengthens the border and gives people a bit of what they want for all sides. But that's not going to happen as long as Joe Biden is parroting Donald Trump's failed policies. That's just antagonizing
So why
his
did he
own
do
votes.
it?
I think right now this was, in some sense, as you mentioned, a political calculation that he thought would play well. I don't think he expected Democrats to be as loud about this, but this has been an issue that he should have known better about. This was a core complaint for Democrats under Donald Trump and still remains so today.
Whatever it is, it's working. Migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti now are being denied asylum if they cross the Mexican border without authorization between the ports of entry, if they come across illegally, before they were being let into the United States. Illegal crossings of Cubans, Nicaraguans, Haitians, and Venezuelans have fallen 97%. Was 3,300 per day on average, now down to 115 per day. Why not do this for everybody and stop the incentive to come here illegally? And coming here illegally has never been a right.
No, you're correct. And we need to draw a clear difference here between the people who are coming to seek asylum, which is protected under the Refugee Act.
But Max, I was down on the southern border. I spent time reporting there. Everybody comes across and says they're seeking asylum, and everybody tells the exact same story with the exact same talking points that they've been taught by the cartels.
And the problem with this is the Biden administration is not making this distinction. There is a process for handling asylum cases that is not being followed.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.